Hi guys, first of all, LPO as a form of contract is something we commonly use to keep things moving fast. But the successful LPOs that we have that really works well for both parties, us and our suppliers or subcontractors, are the ones clearly define these things that I'm going to tell you right now. The main thing that it needs to show is the scope of work. Who is doing what, where, how. This is the very, very important part that you need to define. I'm going to actually put a specific separate section here in YouTube for this, for the scope, what I mean by scope, because the definition of scope and the documentation of that definition is quite important. Now, the second thing is, of course, the contract type. What kind of contract are you going to have with them? Is it a lump sum contract? Is it a remeasurable contract? This is something important. And the third one is the conditions of contract. It could be particular conditions, or it can be referring to a international standard like FIDIC. The other part is the time. Who is going to deliver what, when, is very important. Another thing is the fee. How and when and how much the fees will be paid, and will there be any kind of securities against it. This is something very important. And also, of course, this is very crucial. The retention is something that we usually prefer to do, but some suppliers and subcontractors don't accept it. For, of course, when you push them to give best discount, the risk is comes to on their side. But the correct thing is to do 10% retention in every payment, and then in the successful handover, give 5% back, and the other 5% can be given either 6 months or one year down the line. As a form of cash, of course, but it could be in other forms, bank guarantee or even maybe a security check. And then we need to set the responsibilities of the parties. Who's going to do what mainly, and when and how needs to be set clearly. The governing law and the courts should be clearly mentioned. We prefer courts that are English speaking. Termination is another thing that you need to, how you can terminate, who, and especially the legal consequences of that one should be clearly mentioned there. We prefer always termination without any legal liability on our side, obviously, because we don't want our clients to be affected. And of course, the amendment methodology should be clearly pointed out. Now, the most important thing here that we need to be really, really, really sure. First of all, of course, you need to trust the company that you're working, obviously. But if these are agreed mutually, because at one point, credibility, reputation supersedes everything. If you're approaching from a strength perspective, of course, you have the chance to push your contract. But there is limitations there. I think we need to be fair to every party in this sense. But if you want to do things right, this is the right way of doing things. If you do them properly, of course, in each and every different supplier, subcontractor, different disciplines have different formalities, even additional conditions that you need to add. It's different to work with a structural steel specialist, facade glass company, or a marble subcontractor, or a home automation specialist. All these ones should have carefully you have to go through the details carefully, and also, of course, you need to use CK Architecture Interiors experience in these ones that we have almost accumulated in very high-end projects for the last 12 years. Thank you.